Okay, I wanted to show you real quick how this trigger works. Where's the little piece? There it is. Okay, this sits on this pin, the trigger does. I'll just set it on top. You'll get the idea, I think. This roller right here goes in the middle. This piece actually goes in the middle of the trigger there. And when you pull the trigger, all it does is that little roller presses right here on this piece to push it down. So in its up position, like that, this little screw that's in here adjusts where this actually goes. Okay, when you go and cock the gun, this gets pushed back and up, and it goes over, and then it pulls the spring, because it pushes it down, then it pushes it forward like that. And it can't go back up because this piece is holding it. And then when you pull the trigger, it pushes down right here and lets that pop up. That's how that works, or at least that's how I believe it works. That's what holds it right there. These two little corners right here overlapping is what holds it. And then when like I said, when you pull the trigger, this goes down, and that goes, and this can go up then. And this slides back and forth too. So anyway, the part you want to clean up, on mine, I angled this a little bit and ground here because it didn't want to catch. I think it was hitting here, and there was a little tiny corner. It could have been hitting in here. But either way, it was hitting something here, and it wouldn't cock fully to catch. So you try to cock it, and it just spring right back. Anyway, so I ground on these and reground those fronts. But then you want to polish this surface right here where it catches the piston. And that little slot on the back of the piston, you kind of want to polish that out too if you get it out. If you don't want to tear it apart, you can probably just do this one. You want to do this corner right here. Polish it up where that surface touches. And this corner right here you want to polish up. You want to polish right here. And you can polish that little roller too if you want. I didn't polish mine yet, but I probably will before I put it in. But you can polish that up too. That's not that important because that's pretty smooth on mine. But I noticed these parts, it looks like they've been laser cut. So they have those little lines in them, and that makes it pretty rough. But that's what the thing was. And then the other thing on that aftermarket trigger, when he puts it in, he puts his new trigger in. He doesn't put a spring in it. So what I did, this is the original trigger spring that goes in there. Sits in there like that. And what I did is I just got a really lightweight spring. Just enough to put a little tension on the trigger and keep the pins from falling out. Really lightweight. And put that in there. And that seems to help the trigger. I'm about done for today. I'll finish this video up tomorrow and add a piece onto it. And see if I can find my scale for checking trigger pull. But anyway, that's it. I'll finish it up tomorrow. I wanted to add too, I forgot, that this screw is what controls how much overlap there is on those two parts. So that's your overlap for when you're actually pulling the trigger, that last stage. And then, if you notice there was another guy, he put, let me get something to point with here. He put a screw right here. Oop, get it down there. He put a screw right in here. And if you put a screw in there, when this is installed, that screw will push right against this round area right here. And that will control how much play there is in your first stage. So you can actually make this two-stage adjustable. By this adjusting the first stage, that screw would adjust the first stage against here, and then this screw controls the second stage. And then by cleaning it up, it'll make it easier. Here's the screw I installed. Right there. That's a 172, I think, number 1 screw. And then here's that screw, the other screw you replace with the longer one. This was a M3, 10 millimeter, I think, and I ground off a couple of millimeters. So probably the The 10 8mm is probably the one that fits right in there. And then you can see that lightweight spring sitting right back there instead of the that heavy one that used to sit on top. That lightweight one just sits on top. You could bend that, I guess, if you wanted to. The only thing on this screw, when you take this, when you tighten it up and take the play out, the only thing you have to watch out for is you can only go so far because you got to make sure your safety still clears. And I didn't want to file it down or nothing, so there's not much play right there with the safety on. Let me caulk it. And that's all there's no, I haven't adjusted, it works. There's no free play in the first stage at all. And then this is just the second stage where it actually goes off. And I still have quite a bit in it. It's only 2 pounds. I could adjust it less with this screw, and that will make that creep go away. Also, I took this and put this in the vice jaws like this. You know what I mean? Across this way and this way, in between the vice jaws, and straighten this trigger out some because it's way too curved. Anyway, it's a lot more comfortable that way now. But it's down with all that polishing and changing this spring from the heavy spring, from this heavy spring to the lighter spring. My trigger pulls under 2 pounds now, right around 2, a little bit less maybe. My scale's not super accurate, but it's about 2 pounds. And like I said, when I started, it was like, I swear it was like 10. So anyway, there's no real need. I don't see a real need to buy a aftermarket trigger for these unless you're just looking for something to look cool, you know, a belted aluminum or something. But in the way of function, just polishing those parts, changing this one spring to something a little lighter, and you'll get a really good trigger. Just polishing the parts may work too. You may not even have to replace this spring. So that's it. See ya.